GTA 6 is just around the corner. And not only is the game around the corner, so are speculations and rumors and things that some of us may not like. And what do you mean by this? The price of the game. We don't know what it's going to be. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what the possible price of the game is going to be and if we would pay it. Let's check it out. The video is called Will You Pay $80 to $100 for GTA 6? Link to the original video down in the description. If you like the conversations we have here on the channel, consider subscribing. And all that yapping out of the way, let's get into it.
The first month of the new year is almost over, and we're getting a little antsy over the lack of Grand Theft Auto 6 news. There's still plenty of time until the fall, so it's probably best to wait a little longer before hitting the panic button. However, something else GTA 6 related gained traction last week. The price, or more accurately, what it should be priced at.
If it goes good, guess what? I don't have to put a little bullet in your head. But if it goes bad, well, that's okay too. Because then you and I get to go to hell. And I get to spend the rest of eternity with you, tormenting you.
Well, I guess it's on then.
Recently, Apillion investment analyst Matthew
God, I need to replay GTA 5. There's so much I forgot about the game. But the thing is, right now, I don't want to replay it because I just finished GTA Vice City. I played the definitive edition. But I don't know. I want to be as fresh as I can be with this upcoming GTA.
Ball published an extensive presentation on the state of video gaming in 2025. It offers some insightful looks at the growth of gaming, especially how 2011 to 2021 saw video game spending growth outpacing world real GDP. Following the pandemic, a slowdown was anticipated. Instead, spending fell in 2022, followed by negligible growth in 2023 and 2024. Compared to 2021, video game spending is down about 13%. Cue the layoffs, studio closures, which vary on a case-to-case.
Well, and also, one of the things about these studios spending things, a lot of games are just bad. A lot of flops came out, and that has nothing to do with the pandemic. I think people need to understand that, especially these like developers on social media want to cry and whine. But the reality is, like, if you make a dog shit game, like, what do you expect? Now, not everything has to be GTA 6, but if you're releasing like Dustborn or Dragon Age Vilgard, with toxic positivity, you should probably catch that before it releases. But I don't think he's making this point to point out the idea of what is spending going to be for this game. I think people will spend money and go out of their way to spend the money for this game. Now, I don't know what the price would be. That's kind of crazy.
Case basis, and so on. Thus, we arrive at Grand Theft Auto 6, one of the most anticipated games of all time, if not the most anticipated. A game that most consider to be 2025's biggest, to the point where major publishers are allegedly waiting for a release date so they can steer clear of it. Such is the hype that Circana analyst...
And that is one thing that nobody wants to confirm because it makes other studios look, like, I don't want to say the word, but pussies, and not confident in the games that they're releasing. But it's actually really funny because there's so many rumored games to have been that were going to be announced last year, but weren't because they don't know when to release it. If they announced it last year, they were going to release it this year, but they can't now because GTA 6 is involved. And so it's just funny that there's a bunch of open space when it comes to games being released. And so it's just funny. It's just crazy the impact that this game has.
Matt Piscatella said, "There's probably never been a more important thing to ever release in the industry."
True.
Ball states there's hope in the industry for Take-Two Interactive to price GTA 6 at $80 or even $100. Why?
Let's finish what he's saying, actually.
Because it will seemingly cause the rest of the market to move up and price their titles in the same range. Naturally, this point causes a bit of a stir. After all, most AAA video games saw a price hike in 2020 when the current generation began with major publishers going from $60 to $70 for their titles. That's not factoring in deluxe, premium, gold, ultimate, and so on editions.
I just was about to say that. I think like $80 wouldn't be crazy. I mean, if they have $100 edition, I'm gonna buy it. I bought the $100, I think it was 110 or $100 edition for Red Dead 2. Um, I don't regret it. I mean, it was a lot of pointless stuff, to be honest. Uh, it just didn't really make like it was a lot of single player stuff and some online stuff, but it was mostly single player. It didn't make the game easier or better. Um, it was just, bonus stuff. Why not? Uh, if they have a physical edition, I will spend however much money it takes to get a statue or some collectible from it because obviously, the game's gonna be iconic. So I'm not against $80 if it's like there's something already on top of it.
which bundle DLC and advanced access for those who want to pay even more. Another price increase isn't exact.
Which let me know what is the most expensive game you've ever bought and why. It doesn't have to be anything like you were panned out to be good because there's games that I spent money on that end up being dog shit. But let me know in the comments what game that you really went out of your way to buy that was expensive in like the Ultimate Edition or whatever and why you did that. I think that would be a great question for you guys. If you're new to the channel, by the way, ask a lot of questions and I always read all the comments. So
Exactly something that many want.
Up here? Yeah. Yeah. I got you. Okay, Pete. Yeah. I got this. Take it away, careful. Whoa, wait. That's the wall.
Of course, the question arises, would you pay $80 to $100 to play Grand Theft Auto 6 on day one? While I can't speak for everyone, I was surprised to hear yes from a few acquaintances. There are plenty of people who would rather wait until reviews and graphical analysis first, either to learn more about its features or whether its performance will cause consoles to explode. Some may even be willing to wait until the PC version arrives. But
well, it doesn't even matter that about the PC version. You're gonna have to wait regardless, because the PC version is gonna probably have some type of RP element to it, considering that they bought CFX. So that's exciting, but also worrying to some extent. But I think the thing about Rockstar, I think Rockstar Games in the past, they never had smooth launches for the game. So, and you're probably saying, well, what do you mean? They've always had like quite a bit of bugs on release, but the game was just so good that it was negligible, if that made sense. But I think this time around, with so many games having so many problems, I think this is one of the big things that I think they need to fix, like to make sure it's good, that there's no bugs. Now, let me know in the comments that if you would care for bugs on day one, like what do you think? I mean, it's obviously I gotta consider because this is just my opinion. Some people say they don't care about bugs, but I don't know. I don't know if I believe. Not that I don't believe it. The fact that it's like, is there enough people to say I don't care about the bugs to let it happen, like to buy it day one?
those numbers are a drop in the sea of players, GTA fans and otherwise, who will pick it up on day one, never mind pre-ordering. DFC intelligence analysts predict it will generate a whopping $3.2 billion in revenue within its first year, with IDG Consulting CEO Yoshio Osaki projecting a $1 billion in pre-orders.
Which, in case you're wondering, they probably spent about $1 billion on this game.
Latter even believes it will be one of the biggest entertainment launches in history, not just in games, but for all media.
By the way, I love the Red Dead series. I know a lot of people aren't never finished the story because it's long and a little bit slower. I love it. I love Red Dead. This channel used to be a Red Dead channel back in the day. If you look at my older videos, you can see that. What do you guys think about Red Dead? Do you actually hate it or what?
On a base level, it's extremely easy to justify for many. Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 are pinnacle titles even by today's standards, representing years of hard work and delivering dozens of hours of quality gameplay. Sequels in those franchises aren't commonplace, and their launches qualify as major events and spectacles. Whether you're a genre fan looking forward to the sequel, or just someone who wants to get in on the hype, no amount is too high. Besides, some players only buy a handful of games each year, so spending $10 to $30 more on one of them isn't a big deal. Whether it will actually prompt other developers to follow suit and raise their prices is the real question. Interestingly, Ball acknowledges that no player hopes for such a hike, but notes that they're lower than ever when taking inflation into account. There's also the fact that video game budgets are at all-time highs. Look no further than The Last of Us Part 2 and Horizon Forbidden West each having budgets crossing $200 million, or Marvel Spider-Man 2 costing $315 million.
And this is he gonna mention Concord with possibly more than 400 million that flopped within a week, 12 days, I think. Actually, isn't that funny? I think here's where I think I'm gonna start rambling a little bit, not rambling, but commentating, throwing more commentary in, because I think I personally would not care for an $80 price tag for GTA. That makes, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just gonna be honest. There's certain games I would pay $80 for. For example, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 just around the corner. I bought the Ultimate Edition. That's about $80. Which I guess a deluxe edition. It's only 2 editions. I bought that one. So that's $80. But the thing about the budgets in games, I think they need to get smaller, because what's happening is these studios are releasing more and more expensive games, and because they're so expensive, they play safe. They don't do anything new, and they don't add anything fun. Sounds crazy, because they're running into the situations where they're like, well, we spent 400 million on this studio on this game. We have to make our money back. With the game the game becomes too expensive for its own good. I actually think games need to be the same price, but the budgets need to become smaller, and much more focused. Because look at Concord, 400 million for an Overwatch clone that was actually poorly designed, bad characters, bad writing, bad everything. They even paid for TV show episodes on the secret level. So it's like, what do you know what I mean? Like that's the issue. It's not the money, I guess. It's the fact, or the money's making things worse. It's not actually making things better. Whereas GTA was like almost $1 billion to make, but it's because they've been making it for the past 10 years. It's only expensive because it's been that long, right? Like it's, you got to consider they've been making it for 10 years and they're developing the technology themselves, everything in house. So that's where they become, that's why it's so expensive. But again, like they have the luxury of knowing that at least they're going to make their money back.
Even if Grand Theft Auto 6 doesn't adopt this pricing, it's something that may happen sooner than later. If that happens, will audiences be prepared? It's not an easy question to answer, but it's worth looking at the games that cost $70 and their reception. We've seen games like Baldur's Gate 3 become massive successes despite costing the amount on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom also sold extremely well despite being the first title on the Switch to cost $70. Conversely, there have been failures like Suicide Squad and the Justice League, or titles that underperformed, like Star Wars Outlaws, and more recently Dragon Age The Veilguard. You could point to a number of factors for their respective downfalls, like players rejecting boring live service titles, wanting more polished experiences, or simply not finding the gameplay compelling. Maybe a property like Star Wars is just ice cold at this time compared to when Outlaws first began development, though its myriad of issues at launch didn't help. Perhaps Dragon Age fans opted to skip the Veilguard because of the gameplay changes, prospective story, or unappealing companions. Then you have those who didn't want to play a subpar looter shooter with DC characters. You would think that quality matters most of all for the game's appeal, yet even the highest rated game of 2024, Team Asobi's Astrobot, sold 1.5 million copies in 9 weeks. The reason behind that are likely numerous. However, it's more or less a given that consumers don't want to pay for underwhelming experiences.
We don't want slop. I think that's the thing, is people need to understand there's a difference between games that are like, okay, this is good, right? This is not bad. This is good. Can give me a good time for about a month or two, right? Because a lot of us work regular jobs and have regular lives. So it's like, I'm not trying to, play doo-doo water for the free time that I have, and I already spent the money on it. Because like, for example, Star Wars Outlaws, I didn't play it. I was kind of over Star Wars, but let's say I was not over Star Wars and I was wanting to play Star Wars. I was still wouldn't have played it because of just looking at all the recycled slop that Ubisoft put into the game, how buggy it was, how poor the writing was. Um, just doesn't inspire me. Like, okay, Dragon Age: The Veilguard. That's actually a game that's, if you know me and what my channel used to be, my channel used to be a gaming channel. I covered RPGs. I love RPGs. Technically, GTA is an RPG, whether you know it or not. Um, the the thing is, that game was perfect. You would think a Dragon Age game would be perfect for me, right? But the reason why I didn't like the Veilguard was because of, I didn't play it, but I watched a lot of it, and there was too much self-inserting, too much like overly preaching. The writing was just super bad. Um like how even like they just didn't make sense within the lore. They like threw out lore just so they can be political. I'm not saying politics isn't bad in games. I just think they need to be consistent on what the world is, right? And that's kind of what the concern is too with GTA 6. Now, am I worried that they're gonna become overly PC with the game? No. But I'm just worried we're not gonna get the best possible product because whether you whether you know this or not, I know a lot of people are too young to understand. GTA has always been a parody of the goods and the bads of America and the specific places that they're in, right? And the point of being a satire piece, a commentary piece on that, is that they're allowed to say the things that you wouldn't say in public. For example, a lot of the social commentary on gang violence and criminal behavior in GTA 5, or in Vice City, the commentary on drug use. Right, there's a lot of drug use in that one. It's just relationships, gay characters, being able to make fun of everybody, and I think that's what I'm worried about is GTA 6 toning it down. But I don't know. We'll have to see. If not, I hope they triple, double, quadruple down and make fun of everybody, like hardcore. Because if anything, that would make it even more better.
Is riddled with issues at launch, especially when some of them also pack in microtransactions. At this point, Grand Theft Auto 6 has all the momentum. When Rockstar reveals more gameplay and details in the coming months, it could very well disappoint some longtime fans. The power of hype and marketing still ensures it will be a success, even if it launches with numerous bugs and issues, or a repeat of GTA Online servers just not working for extended periods. The $80 to $100 price tag may sting when its best foot isn't put forward, but it's not going to lead to buyer's remorse. If other titles adopt the same price, you have to wonder if there won't be even more pressure to deliver on expectations. Development issues and terrible practices aren't going to disappear overnight because a company is recouping more of its budget.
Yeah.
Once again, look at today's market and the sheer number of failures that have occurred for $70 titles.
Yep.
Also, even if video game spending hasn't seen as much growth in recent years, it's still extremely competitive, with numerous free and paid games vying for players' attentions. That's only going to lead.
You know what's I don't think he's going to mention this video. Actually, it would actually make more sense because they're going to have the online, obviously. And we've seen that they separated the online from the single player story, which is, interesting. They might do that again. I actually think if I'm Rockstar, I want to keep the $60 price tag because I want every single human on the planet to have the game so that when we introduce microtransactions on the online, everybody's already bought in. Everybody owns the game already. There's no like additional purchase they have to make to get it. So, if my opinion, I think if anything, they're probably going to do the $70 price tag, but I wouldn't do 80 because it would only make sense that they want more. They want everybody to have the game so that when they introduce microtransactions, they already have a customer base that's ready to spend money rather than like, oh, it's $80. Now you got a huge group of people that are waiting. And then once the microtransactions come in from the online, now they're like, well, it's $80 plus microtransactions. Whereas like, if you already did the 70 and someone already owns it, they're like, well, I already own the game. Might as well check it out,
Lead to more pressure in the AAA space. Maybe it'll become a case of Grand Theft Auto 6 standing alone at the top for a long time, and slowly but surely, other big names.
Oh, it's going to be alone at the top for a long time.
However, it may pan out. You have to wonder if there are Take-Two executives keeping an eye out and wondering just how much is too much. Hey, did you know that we at Gaming Vault upload new videos every day? Stick around.
I don't know, because I've seen, I think Civilization's owned by Take-Two. They have a $120 edition for Civilization. I'll be honest, that is way too much for a game that I have really low expectations for, because I think it's gonna have too many bugs, because every time they've ever released a Civilization game in the past, it's been a buggy mess. And I just don't think you should be, especially for early access, you're just beta testers at that point for $120. That's crazy. Anyway, let me know what you think about the comments down below. What is your hopes and expectations? Are you nervous that the game might be more expensive? I think people could be. I think if there's a reason to, because it means like maybe Rockstar might be doing some overly aggressive monetization, or it might set bad precedent. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Check you on the next one. Love you guys. Be safe and have a good day. Bye-bye. This video is brought to you actually by viewers like you. Thank you so much for subscribing and being part of my journey and allowing me to be a part of yours. Let's create new memories this 2025 on our road to 1 million subscribers. And with all that jazz out of the way, I just want to say thank you so much. I love y'all and enjoy the video.